Peace to the injured nation. Endure. Peace to the nation. I hope this afternoon finds you all well. Um, I won't take too much of your time. I had just had a thought, right? Um, yeah, and I guess it came along the line while I was going down my time. It came along when was going down my timeline, and plus other discussions I had been having. Let me lead off by saying I was once upon a time, I guess by tradition, um, supporter of the Democratic Party. I voted for Obama. Obama was probably the last Democratic president I voted for. I became disillusioned by the beginnings of my disillusion with the Democratic Party began while Obama was in office. Um, and then Hillary Clinton, and I saw Hillary's, because really the first thing, black people were very excited. We had given 90+% of our vote to secure that Obama would be able to be the first African American president of America, and he was successful twice. I mean, not with my assistance the second time, but because I didn't vote for him the second time. I think I wrote in Dr. Claude Anderson or something like that. Because I live in Cook County, Illinois, so I'm able to write in um, a candidate. Then Hillary Clinton ran, and there was, and I tied. If I think a lot of the confusion, or let me stick with what I'm saying. Hillary Clinton ran. Hillary Clinton was very vocal about the omnibus crime bill. I think it was the '94 crime bill. Joe Biden called it Biden's law. She was very enthusiastic of that, and also her interactions with black people. They seem forced. They seem contrite, pandering. Just simple as that. The hot sauce and the dancing, the trying to do the Dougie. I think she was trying to do the Dougie. Um, but the problem came when during the campaign, WikiLeaks information came out, and they had something in there to the tune that um, if Black Lives Matter or Black people ask you for something specific, don't make the black folks any promises. Just I guess just be kind and whatever. So that information came out. Then the information came out where Roland Martin and I forget the lady's name. This was a black lady. She was always in the midst of things in the Democratic Party. They kind of had conspired to like feed Hillary Clinton softball questions from the black community, the African American, Negro, the black community. Us folks who call America our home, that are of a darker hue for the most part. So then, she failed, and Kamala, she began her running because, as we recall, Joe Biden wasn't even. He said, "I got to come rescue the country because there's not a viable candidate that stands amongst the Democratic Party that should secure a win against Donald Trump, who I affectionately call Mean Master Trump, and I affectionately call Kind Master Biden, Joe Biden. That's because in my mind, all these I used to take offense when folks, and majority they were white folks, and I would think this was racist when they said it. The Democratic Party plantation. Now they were right, but you can't speak to me about this plantation while you're on that plantation. I guess if it's for some less than critical minds, they may have thought it was one or the other, and then even today, people think it's one or the other. But I don't let me stay on course here. So then, she tries to run, and we've dug even back then when her first presidential run. People act like the things that are being said now in deference to Kamala Harris. I do not. I don't hate Kamala Harris. I don't know Kamala Harris personally enough to hate her. I just dislike her for some of the things she said and the things that she represented or misrepresented. Um, it's not that because she, for some reason, I guess the black woman projects themselves off into these other people as representation that they create narratives. It's not that I couldn't get a girl as pretty as Kamala was, so yeah, I feel resentment. It's I've done research on her, but she lost, and Biden came in, and then she backslid because she made up a story to paint Khan Massa in a racist light, and but then still she accepted his invitation to be his VP. Now, I once upon a time I said, the man is not sharp. Comes out, he tried to run it for re-election. He fails. People pretty much he was he was representing for his party up into that debate. I guess still after the debate because the thing about the Democratic Party, and I imagine a large amount of dedicated and devoted Democratic people is that they'll they can blatantly disrespect you, but it's the fact that they'll still come to you and say, well, they'll put you back in chains. I think Prime Master Biden said that. Do you? They're trying to put y'all. How about y'all come from chains? Trying to put y'all back in chains. They'll use the slavery rhetoric. When it's convenient to stoke fear in you and make you believe and feel as if you're under some form of protection from these people. So now we're here at this point, and there were three candidates. The Independent Party. First, it's like, well, when Robert Kennedy, if I remember correctly, when he said that he was running, and I guess he from the speech that I just watched, he was rather lengthy in his speech. I guess I need to speed up what I'm doing because I'm getting lengthy in this speech. He said in this speech that he had tried to communicate with Kamala Harris's in them camp, but he wasn't able to connect with them. But I'm skipping the part I was saying. I'm going fast forward, going too far ahead. But he ran as an independent, and that, of course, people there was buzz amongst them saying, well, he's trying to throw a monkey wrench in. He doesn't have a chance. Blah 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 blah. Uh, he tried to contact Kamala then when he decided he didn't have a path to victory. I guess according to what stated in context of what he said. When he realized he didn't have a pathway to victory, he decided, well, I'm going to extend myself and see what's going on as far as going forward. He reached out to Donald Trump's camp, and Donald Trump's camp, they welcomed him and they shared similar ideas and interests, in regards to like the first thing. That because I don't know whether if you even get to this part of it, I don't know whether you heard that most recently. I heard the news today that Mark Zuckerberg was pressured by the DNC in order for him to put strict guidelines on not necessarily. Well, COVID is I guess COVID could be politicized. I guess anything can be politicized, but they had instructed Mark Zuckerberg to be very heavy-handed in regards to the moderation of people that might say things about the COVID or might, just talk about it. Because remember that I had been given community standards violations and fact checks on all just stuff that basic chemistry types, the biology. I never tried to be a doctor, but I reread about certain stuff to get a basic idea how things supposed to go. When the question was asked, how how is it mm, let me get off track. Let me stay on track. But they had it came out that Mark Zuckerberg was pressured by the Democratic Party, and I guess it's more tied into Hunter Biden's files or whatever, his laptop. That information that came out, that was like pretty much, I guess, what they call the October surprise. But what the Democratic Party was able to do by way of in incorporation, I guess, with intelligence agencies, they were able to censor, and of course, the fact checkers, and the fact checkers ended up getting fact checked, and they were flawed because in a lot of cases, once you read their fact check, their reasoning for putting a fact check on your post, it doesn't match. But anyway, so Robert Kennedy has left the Democratic Party for the most. He said that the reason you said several times in this speech, the reason I left the Democratic Party, because that I feel as if the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, was being attacked in the technological world, and this is a time once upon a time he believed that the Democratic Party was for freedom of speech, and of course, for us to find out today, I mean, this is not nothing that I was unaware of because, geez, I know that my account has been under scrutiny and tight rein since Hillary Clinton because they tried to identify me, one of my page on Facebook, as a Russian, like the Russian information, the Black Center pages that, even though I didn't say nothing political on that page, they froze my growth on that page. They also froze my growth on my personal page, and really my personal page has grown exponentially in the past week. So it's like, okay, well, it was surprised me. I said, well, this feels like Facebook back 10, 15 years ago, the way I'm getting followers and getting responses to my shit, at least maybe for this short time period. So it's like, well, once I find out this news of Mark Zuckerberg pressured by the government to, censor certain posts and information, so that pretty much puts a microscope on an individual. So Robert Kennedy left the Democratic Party. I kind of don't know. I kind of noticed that they don't really talk too much about it. I don't really stick too much to the mainstream media, but even on the fringe media, they don't. The fringe liberal media, they haven't really discussed too much about Robert Kennedy and the speech that I just listened to. The speech that I just listened to, he was talking about. The processed foods, talking about ending the Ukrainian war, the reasoning behind the Ukraine war was started and didn't have anything to do with um, what was being propagated to us. It was more to the fact that it was an attempt as an extension of NATO, and this can be fact checked. I'm stating what Mr. Kennedy said. It was viewed by Putin, and I guess those who conspired to do it reasonably, deductively, um, an expansion of NATO to more surround Russia. And that, seemingly could be perceived as an act of aggression. And this is why, when they say, people say that this is seemingly on the verge of a world war, because there's a lot of things that are tied together into all of it. But Robert Kennedy left the Democratic Party, but a black person like me who became disillusioned with Obama, became disillusioned with being sold Christmas sayings like hope and um, faith and change and joy. I mean, is this? These are the things. These are the intangibles that are all being offered to you. A rising tide lifts all boats, and um, hmm, everybody needs to pay their fair share. Never mind the fact that a lot of people have a lot more share to pay than others. So he was talking about. He said that these were ideas that they shared. They shared the ideas about the protection of the children, the health of the children. Just several things. But that's not really necessary. Well, I guess that is the point, because the things that he was saying, and this is, I guess, this might be partially the reason. And I don't know whether, even if Kamala Harris goes on a mainstream news-ish media interview, whether they'll even give her the type of questions that one would have to ask for her, being the vice president during the time period when all these things were happening. I'm getting community standard violations, and don't even. I'm just really just trying to motivate. All during this time, people monetizing, they're growing and monetizing. I can't. I had a Facebook like fan page that now you put ads and shit on. I had that shit since like 2011, and had thousands of people on there, and didn't make a dime. But it's just me venting my frustrations, because I feel as if when I believe, and I can reasonably be deduced, that I've been, and countless others have been mistreated by the heavy-handedness of the community standard violations. And then when it comes out, well, Hunter Biden actually did have pictures of him smoking crack with hookers and guns and shit on his laptop. But I remember I tried to share this shit. They wouldn't, man. They hit me up almost instantly. And it's really the fact, and since I was so heavy in the Democratic Party, I used to stand. I used to, man. He's the free. I used to stand in staunch allegiance with Barack Obama, my bro Obama. Bro, I call him Bro Obama because that's my bro. But it's at this point they focus on what the black man, that black woman, get your black man in line. Get why they hate y'all so much. Man, in my mind, okay, we'll give Kamala her pension, or her serving, an ample serving of African, because ain't we's all from Africa. But we'll give her fair measure of African. She has a sizable amount of Eurasian, Indian, whatever. If you didn't know her, black people, if you didn't know her, y'all play too much. But that's not even an important part. You got to think about this person has been going places and giving kind of a vague things that she's going to do, and things that's I'm going to gauge price, fight price gauging. It's actually gouging. Gauging and gouging are two different things. Oh, you know what she meant, but they are two different things. And when you go out and you present yourself as the leader of the free world, and just see the black woman, she got to hold herself up to a high standard. She got to be dignified accordingly. But Kennedy, the Kennedy has been the franchise Democratic political family. You got this. I guess I don't know if this is Bobby Kennedy Jr. or he a Kennedy, and he said, I'm gonna go head on and head on out on a DNC. But you just regular normal person say, well, I don't really necessarily vibe with either party because I'm under the understanding that two wings and one bird, and it's all still one form of wielding of oppressive power, and we all see that it's ran by the money. The money is always doing the most of the talking. So they censored us. Some of y'all get. I mean, if they were saying as long as the news that, and I guess this is the news, what they wanted you as the crowd and the people to believe. So I guess it's you create a villain, and you need a villain, and but then it's the fact that once you create that villain, and the villain helps you create that villain, you don't have no good guy. You got to find a way to maybe look around you. Look at your situations of yourself and your family and your neighbor and your children or whomever, and say what do they need? What do they need in order to put them in a situation where all they have to be concerned with is a want? You may say, well, they got everything they need. I mean, hey, blessings to you. Many do not. Um, yeah, I probably will. And I mean, because I say, because I did that. I set out completely last time because really I live in a Democratic Party state, and I mean, my vote, however it goes, is not going. I mean, everybody's vote matters, but hey, if y'all take my matter. It's the right to vote. The right to vote also includes the right to choice because that's one of the selling points of Kamala Harris, the right to choice. Protecting women's health choices, albeit that these are things that were to be allocated to the state to decide. An area gets more intimate. I guess if you want to take it to the Supreme Court or what have you, I don't know. That's not nothing I'm on. But I'm just saying in regards to that. Yes, that's important to some people. But is that the most important thing? You say that you're going to do something about price gauging, price gouging. We want to do about existing prices. What are we going to do about existing the interest rates on things? But I don't mean to go this far because I got to work tonight. And I just really the thought I just had. It's like, well, a member of the franchise Democratic, I guess you could say legacy, what they call them things when they just be a grouping or just say a pioneer grouping of founders. I can't say they're the founders, but just as far as the modern liberalized, come here, nigga, come over there, cause we didn't change. We just changed. We put the D on, gave them the R. That's all I got, man. I'm just really testing this shit and also practicing. Nigga nation or nothing, man. Peace and love. Nobody came through. I mean, nobody. My internet real estate. When they say internet real estate should be heavy. I've been pretty much a motherfucking pioneer on this shit since the '90s. Peace and love. I'm out. I ain't gonna bitch on me. Fucking you. Fuck YouTube. It's still fuck YouTube. YouTube is still fuck you. I don't know what y'all want me to. Y'all want me to verify myself. We need to verify. Y'all want to see a picture of me? I'm right here. Um, y'all have all my information because according to the news that came out today, uh, the government is able to say, well, shoot, y'all need to shut down certain things, even though certain things may be true and they turn out to be true later on, but the punishment has been done. Peace and love. I'm out.